सर आज 32 विशफुल रिफ्लेक्शंस करेंगे ना?
यस मैं कोस्ट बना दूं हिमाली जी आपको?
Yes, sir.
ओके so you can share the
Yes, sir.
page number 66. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. अर्हंत सिद्ध सुर उपाध्याय साधु सर्व अर्थ के प्रकाशी मांगलिक उपकारी है तिनको स्वरूप जानी रागते भई जो भक्ति काय को नमाय स्तुति को उच्चारी है धन्य धन्य तुम्ही से काज सब आज भयो कर चोरी बारंबार वंदना हमारी है मंगल कल्याण सुख ऐसो हम चाहते हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है. So today is our last class in Tattvagyan part 1, lesson number 9, 32 wishful reflections. In Hindi it is called Bhavna Battisi. So there are 32 words. So it is called Battisi, and Bhavna is of course reflections, contemplations. We have already studied 12 contemplations in Vitrag Vigyan 1, I suppose. And this is written by Acharya Amit Gati, and it is translated into Hindi by Jugal Kishorji of Kota, and then subsequently it has been translated to English by Professor Manohar Lal Jain. So we'll first see the introduction of Acharya Amit Gati, and Arunji, you read.
Sure, sir. Acharya Amitgati of the 11th Vikram century was held in great esteem in the court of Patiraj Munj, who was the king of Ujjain. He was himself a great scholar and poet. Acharya Amitgati was a learned scholar and writer on various subjects. All his works are in Sanskrit. He finished his famous work Subhashit Ratn Sandho in VS 1050 and Dharam Pariksha in VS 1070. The subject matter and the style of his writings are easy, comprehensible, and interesting. Following of his works are available: Subhashit Ratn Sandho, Dharam Pariksha, Bhavna, Dvatrin Shaktika, Panch Sangraha, Upasakachar, Aradhana. Subhashit Ratn Sandho is a collection of moral questions. It has 32 topics and 922 couplets. It is a very important ethical treatise. Those who love such collections should certainly study his work. Dharam Pratiksha is a unique work of Sanskrit literature. This has 1945 couplets. Those who are interested in the knowledge of fundamental principles should study this. The lesson in hand is the Hindi translation of Bhavna Dvatikshaktika in poetic form by Shri Yugal Kishorji of Kota.
So Yugal Kishorji were here up till recently, and he was a very good writer. He used to write for newspapers. He had written so many poems on independence and all. But when he came in contact with this knowledge, then he left all those things and he dedicated his life for the spread of Jainism. And he has done so many good work. And out of this is one of the translation is very important because this was written in around 1000 years ago. And at that time, the language was Sanskrit. So this was written originally by Acharya Amit Gati in Sanskrit, but then subsequently it was translated to Hindi, modern Hindi. Hindi is also, there is one old Hindi, like you have seen Chadala. It's an old Hindi. Even Mokshma Prakasak was also written in old Hindi. Now what we have is the latest Hindi translation. So we are fortunate in that way that we can really understand, and with that, this English translation is also a boon for all English English seekers, those who want to understand in English. So the author has tried to do justice to this translation. And Acharya Amit Ganti was in the 11th century. He was a very learned scholar, and he was during the time of Vakpati Raj Munj, who was the king of Ujjain. In those days, there were kingdoms running in all parts of the country, and each kingdom has a king. And Vakpati Raj Munj was the king of Ujjain. Ujjain has been a religious center for quite long. The other day we read about Raksha Bandhan story. There also it was in Ujjain only that the Acharya, Kampanacharya and other 700 monks were there in Ujjain. So he was himself a great scholar and poet. We can see his poetic skill from the text Bhavna Battisi or 32 Wishful Reflections. Then he has other works also. Shubhasit Ratna Sandho is a collection of moral quotations, not questions, but moral quotations. Then Dhar Pariksha is such a unique literature that those who are not interested in any type in religion, if they also read that text, they will develop an interest in studying the scriptures. So basically, this is taken from Bhavna Battisi, and it has been translated by Yugal Kishorji of Kut. So we straightway start with the verse, and I will read the Hindi also and English also. Okay, so not I will, each of you will read Hindi and English first. So basically in this whole 32 stanzas, okay, in the first is an introduction about 4 kind of contemplations, that is Maitri, Pramod, Karuna and Madhyas. Maitri means friendship. Pramod means when you adore somebody is Pramod. Then Karuna is compassion, and Madhyas is indifference. Okay, so with whom you should have friendship, with whom should be very eager to mix up with, whom should you have compassion on, and whom you should see as indifference. No attachment, no aversion, but Madhyas, indifference. So these are the 4 contemplations. And then from 2nd verse to 4th verse, it is reflecting what the Acharya wants, what a seeker wants. Okay, so those are there mentioned in those 2 to 4 verse. Then from 5th to 10th verse, the poet is citing his own blemishes. Once you are able to know what your blemishes are, then you will be able to get over it. Okay, so 5 to 10 is that. Then 11th, there is a turnaround in his thought process. 12th to 17, things have been explained from the conventional point of view and real point of view. And 18 to 21, it's the discussion is about the omniscience being, okay, also called apt. Apt is a Hindi word, but in English we call it omniscience, okay. So in this way, 18 to 21, then after 21, 22 to 31, how we can develop a feeling of passionlessness from the worldly existence, from the universe, and concentrate and absorb in ourselves, okay. So that has been explained from 22 to 31, and of course then 32 is the conclusion. So this is the brief summary of what we are going to study today. Now we will see the first one first. I am just reading, and then from second to fourth, somebody else will read. So I'm just reading the first one. प्रेम भाव हो सब जीवों से, गुणी जनों में हर्ष प्रभो, करुणा स्रोत बहे दुखियों पर, दुर्जन में मध्यस्थ विभो. O God, let me have love for all, and feeling of joy in the company of the learned. Okay. So how can you have love for all? When you see yourself as a pure soul and see all the other persons of the universe, all the other creatures of the universe as a pure soul, then only you can love all. Otherwise, you can love your friends, but you will hate your enemies. But here the Acharya says that there is no enemy in this universe. All are pure soul in their inherent nature. But there are differences in their outer behavior, outer outlook, outer activities. Those differences will be there, but you have to see a person from the perspective, from the real perspective, real point of view, as a pure soul. Then only you can have a feeling of love for all. So love for all and feeling of joy in the company of the learned. Why a person develops a feeling of joy in the company of the learned? Because he knows if I talk to him, if I discuss with him, I will also imbibe in me the good qualities that he has manifested in himself. So we always feel joy when we come in touch with the learned people, because we know that we will be learning something or the other from them. And they are always ready to help those who want to be in this path of liberation. So we developed a feeling of joy. Then the third one is Karuna Strot Bahe Dukhiyo Par. Let me have compassion on the unhappy. What kind of compassion we should have on the unhappy people? Those who are suffering because of without any reason. The main anticlimax or sad part is that people are full of infinite qualities, and in spite of having so much of good qualities with them, which each soul, people are unhappy. Why they are unhappy? Because they don't consider themselves to be a pure soul, and they consider their body as to be their own, their possession as to be their own. So all the four feelings we can include here: the feeling of oneness, mindness, doership, and enjoyership. Okay, so these are the four pillars of delusion, and because of these, people are unhappy. So those who are unhappy, let me have compassion. So what do you mean by in terms of compassion? In terms of compassion is what it means here, that we should always be ready to help unhappy people to come out of their unhappiness by following the scriptures. Okay, so let me have compassion on the unhappy, and indifference towards people having perverted faith. Durjan. Durjan means bad people. Okay, but here it means people having perverted faith. So unless and until you develop right faith, the path of liberation doesn't begin. Your unhappiness does not end. So we should be indifferent towards people having perverted faith. But if they are willing to understand, then we should always help, okay, and spread this message to as many people as possible. Why? Because the inherent nature of all the creatures in this universe is pure soul. They are possessing infinite qualities. But because of delusion, they are not able to realize their true identity. And they consider themselves to be the body or the associations around him or the temporary manifestations, temporary toxic emotions that he develops every moment. Okay, he believes himself to be that. So that is just because of delusion. Once you get rid of delusion, you are able to comprehend your true nature, your inherent nature. That our inherent nature is that we are only an observer. We are only a knower and seer. We are not the doer. So these are the four contemplations in the first para. Now from the second to fourth, Himali, you read.
यह घ्रनन अनंत बलशील आत्मा हो शरीर से भिन्न प्रभु, जो होती तलवार म्यान से, वह अनंत बल दो मुझको. Let this
Mujhko.
eternal Thank you. Let this eternal strong soul be distinct from the physical frame. Just as the sword is different from the cover, let me have the courage of this conviction. So next
I will
one
read
also.
the Hindi part. I will read the Hindi part. You read the English part. Okay.
Thank you,
सुख
sir.
दुख वैरी बंधु वर्ग में कांच कनक में समता हो. वन उपवन प्रासाद कुटी में नहीं खेद ममता हो.
Pleasures and pains, friends and enemies, glass and gold, all should be equal in my view. I should have no joy and no displeasure in forest and garden, or palace and cottage.
जिस सुंदरतम पथ पर चल कर जीते मोह मान मन मत, वह सुंदर पथ ही प्रभु मेरा बना रहे अनुशीलन पथ.
O Lord, the path of conquering the god of attachment, as shown by you, should also be followed by me to ensure my own victory over the senses.
Okay, so in the second to fourth verse, the poet here depicts what he wants. What he wants is his contemplation only. Let this eternally strong should be distinct, eternally strong soul be distinct from the physical frame. B means he wants that, right? He is visualizing that he wants this, he wants that. So that is what the list is here from second to fourth verse. So let this eternally strong soul be distinct, okay? Distinct from the physical frame. Physical frame means body, okay? So soul and body are two different identities, two different substances, and this distinction should come to our mind. And that is where the science of discrimination starts. Just as the sword is different from the cover. So cover is where we keep the sword. So actual sword is different from the cover, although cover is also of the same shape as the sword. But sword, what the function sword performs that cover cannot do. Okay. Cover is very fragile, weak, and sword is very powerful. Okay. Just as the sword is different from the cover, let me have the courage of this conviction. What conviction? That this soul is distinct from the physical body. Then pleasures and pains, friends and enemies. So these are two opposite situations: pleasure and pain, friends and enemies, glass and gold. So glass has no value and gold is very valuable. So these are the opposite. Now these are the opposites. So normally we develop a feeling of attachment which is beneficial to us, and we develop a feeling of aversion which is not beneficial to us. But here the author says that you should be equal in both the cases. You should have equal in your view. Pleasure is not going to benefit you and pain is not going to harm you. That is the feeling that you should develop. That means the author is advocating here to develop a feeling of passionlessness in all situations. Okay. Whether you get beneficial association, you should not develop a feeling of attachment. And whether you get harmful associations, you should not feeling or develop, you should not develop a feeling of aversions to them. You should be equally on view, and that is what passionless is all about. That is what non-attachment is all about. I should have no joy and no displeasure in forest and garden. Forest is one and Uppan is garden. Prasad, Prasad is palace and Kuti is cottage. Okay. So even if I get whatever the situations, whatever outside associations that I get, I should have no joy and no displeasure. So no joy and no displeasure again means non-attachment, passionlessness. Jis sundar tam pat. Oh, we already read this one. Oh Lord, the path of conquering. So this is an exclamation mark. It is not I, but this is an exclamation mark. Oh Lord, the path of conquering the god of attachment as shown by you. Conquering the god of attachment. So it is actually the delusion. This sundar path par chalkar jite moh. Moh is delusion, but it has been translated here as attachment. Okay, but actually it is delusion. So conquering the god of delusion as shown by you. So the god has become god by just conquering the delusion. Similarly, I also want to conquer my delusion and get into the path of liberation as shown by you. Should also be followed by me to ensure my own victory over the senses. So I also advocate, I also applaud the path shown by you, and I also want to tread on that path. Okay, I want to follow that path to ensure my own victory over the senses. So this sensual pleasure is not the real pleasure. The real pleasure is the pleasure that we derive from the soul. Okay. But since time immortal, because of delusion, we believe this sensual pleasure to be the actual happiness, but those are not so. So I should also follow your path and ensure that I also win over delusion as you have done. So this was the three verse where the poet is asking what is what. Now from 5 to 10 verse, he will be declaring his own blemishes, own flaws, right? And this is the time that when you are having very mild passion, then you are able to relate your own blemishes and flaws. Okay. Otherwise, everyone wants to show them as superior to others. Even I have some bad qualities in me, I will try to hide them. Okay. So this is like that only. 5 to 10 verse. And Amitaji, you can read from 5 to 10. If you are not able to read the Hindi one, you can read only the English one. No problem.
I can try both.
Okay, good.
एकेंद्रियादिक प्राणी की यदि मैंने हिंसा की हो, शुद्ध हृदय से कहता हूँ वह निष्फल हो दुष्कृत्य प्रभु. If ever I killed or injured any creature living in this world, big or small, I repent for that and wish that I should never commit sins like that. मोक्ष मार्ग प्रतिकूल प्रवर्तन जो कुछ किया कषायों से, विपथ गमन सब कालुष मेरे मिट जावे सद्भावों से. Induced by different passions, if I have ever followed the path against liberation, all those evil deeds and thoughts may disappear by my own meritorious acts. चतुर्वेद विष वीक्षत करता त्यो प्रभु में भी आदि उपांत, अपनी निंदा आलोचन से करता हूँ पापों को शांत. Just as clever doctor destroys the effects of poison, let me also, O God, by looking into my own inner beings, destroy the multi-headed snake of sins. सत्य अहिंसा दिक व्रत में भी मैंने हृदय मलिन किया, व्रत विपरीत प्रवर्तन करके शीलाचरण विलीन किया. Even when I followed truth and non-violence, I behaved recklessly and against the spirit of religion and detracted from the path of conduct. कभी वासना की सरिता का गहन सलिल मुझ पर छाया, पी पी कर विषयों की मदिरा मुझ में पागलपन आया. Sometimes I was overpowered by the fury of the river of passions, and I indulged in sensual joys and behaved in a brainless manner. मैंने छली और मायावी हो सत्याचरण किया, पर निंदा गाली चुगली जो मुंह पर आया वमन किया. I practiced deceit and hypocrisy and thus harmed myself and others. I spread scandals about others and destroyed their reputation in various ways.
So you see, from the 5th to 10th, he is reciting all his flaws. If ever I killed or injured any creature living in this world, big or small, I repent for that and wish that I should never commit sins like that. So it is very mandatory that when you are reciting your blemishes or when you do something wrong, you say sorry, but that sorry is only complete when you commit that you will not repeat such mistakes again. Okay. Otherwise, you keep on doing mistakes and you keep on saying sorry, 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 but that doesn't work. Okay. So this you should understand. So he has done in the past many killings and injured many creatures in this world knowingly and unknowingly. Unknowingly, of course, we all very do, but knowingly also in the past we have done some uh, violence, and that should we repent for that, and we should also commit that I will not repeat such mistakes again. So I'm just disclosing this, because I want to get rid of those wrong acts. The next stanza, induced by different passions. if I have ever followed the path against liberation. So here the language is in the tone of if, but I have done definitely. It's not if. I have done definitely, and that is the way we should say. All those evil deeds, bad deeds, and thoughts may disappear by my own meritorious acts. Okay. मोक्ष मार्ग प्रतिकूल प्रवर्तन जो कुछ किया कसायों से, induced by different passions, anger, pride, deceitfulness, greed, and then those 9 quasi passions. Okay, so this, because of this different kinds of passions, I have ever followed the path against liberation. So I had gone against the path of liberation, and this is something we are. The author is saying here. It's not only on this birth, but in previous birth also we have been doing these things only. That's why we are still in worldly existence. Otherwise, we would have got liberated. We were the same place where Adinath Bhagwan was there. Even all the Tirthankars, during all the times, we existed there in some form or the other. But they got liberated, and I am still wandering in this universe. So that means what they have done that I have not done, and that I should do. Okay. So I should follow the path of liberation and not go against it. All those evil deeds and thoughts may disappear. I want to get rid. I'm not at all comfortable with all kinds of evil deeds and thoughts. So I want to let those things disappear by my own meritorious acts. Meritorious acts means here my good deeds. Okay. So evil deeds will be removed by good deeds. Evil thoughts will be removed by good thoughts. Okay. And the ultimate solution is science of discrimination. We have to practice discriminative knowledge to get rid of all kinds of passions. Just as a clever doctor destroys the effect of poison, let me also, O God, by looking into my own inner beings, destroy the multi-headed snake of sins. So as a clever doctor, expert doctor, not a clever doctor, but an expert doctor, they have this knowledge and skill to destroy the effect of poison. And then even if they take poison, they don't die, because they have learned that technique, what should be taken before taking a poison. And they take those medicines or whatever it is, and after they consume poison also, they don't die. So let me also develop those kind of skills, oh God, by looking into my own inner being, by looking at my own pure soul, because my pure soul is full of infinite qualities, infinite knowledge, infinite perception, infinite bliss, infinite energy, all kinds of different qualities that I possess. By looking into my own inner beings, destroy the multi-headed snake of sins. So majorly there are 5 sins: violence, hinsa, jhoot. Jhoot is falsehood, chori, theft, kushil, unchastity, and the last one, parigra, possessions. Okay. So let me get rid of all these kinds of sins. Even when I followed truth and non-violence, satya, ahimsa, dik, etc. So you consider all the 5. Even when I followed truth and non-violence, etc., I behaved recklessly and against the spirit of religion, and detracted from the path of conduct. Okay. So because of my wrong knowledge, I behaved recklessly. Okay. I manifested procrastination, and behaved against the spirit of religion. What should I ought to do and what I am doing? That difference we should realize. Then only we can mend ourselves and make our life blissful. And I detracted from the path of conduct. So it is very difficult and rare to get into the path of liberation. Even after getting here, if you get distracted and leave this path and go in the wrong direction, then it is our own mistake. So we have done this mistake in the past many a times. So now he's citing his own flaws so that he does not repeat those. You must have observed that when you have shared something with your friends, then you feel lighter. And if you don't share and you keep everything inside you only, then it becomes very toxic and it affects your health, it affects your moods, it affects your confidence, everything. You get into depression. So it is always nice to share with somebody who you can confide in and get your problems solved. Otherwise, it keeps on growing and then it comes out in such a larger format that you have to take medicines for that to come to normal position, and those medicines have very harmful side effects, and it may bring under control that particular thing, but then other things crop up, so your life becomes miserable. So it's a very good quality when you are able to share your flaws. Next, sometimes I was overpowered by the fury of the river of passion. So these passions are like that. When there is a rise of passion, because of our mild efforts, we get overpowered. But the monk is very powerful in his approach to passions, so he is not overpowered. But we at our stages, we don't have that much strength to come out of those passions. So sometimes we get into it and then we suffer because of those passions. I indulge in sensual joys. So sensual joys is another thing that gets us distracted, and because we believe that the happiness will come from outside, we get indulged in these sensual pleasures and behaved in a brainless manner. The underlying cause is the delusion. And because of this delusion, you feel that happiness is there in sensual objects and you indulge in those and you behave like in a brainless manner. Means you do not practice your uh, intellect, right? You don't think on what you are doing, and that is the stage when you are under the influence of delusion. The next one, I practice deceit and hypocrisy. So anger, pride, third comes in the sequence is deceit. I practice deceit and hypocrisy many a times, not once, twice, but many a times in the past, and thus harmed myself and others. I spread scandals about others and destroyed their reputation in various ways. Now, why this thing happened? Because of our passion of pride. We do such things. We want to show ourselves to be superior than others, and we want to bring down the impression of others and destroy their reputation. So these things we have done innumerable times in the past. Now I don't want to do this. I want to get rid of all these harmful passions. So this is the understanding that the seeker has developed so far. And now in the next verse, there is a turnaround in his life, and he comes out of the wrong path and gets into the right path. Let my mind become faultless and clean and let me always adhere to truth. Let the stream of consciousness flow in my heart like the pure water of a river. So now he wants to turn around his life, what he has done, what mistakes he has done in the past, what blemishes, what flaws he has done in the past. He wants to leave them behind and he wants to get into the right path. Okay. So he says, let my mind become faultless. Let all of my flaws and blemishes go away and clean, and let me always adhere to truth. So unless and until you clear all your backlogs in your mind that you have developed over a period of time because of delusion, that has to get eradicated. Then only you will be able to comprehend the truth. So to comprehend the truth, you have to get this fault out of your mind. Let the stream of consciousness flow in my heart, knowledge, right knowledge in my heart, like the pure water of a river. So this is the turnaround phase, and this particular seeker has now developed the right knowledge and right faith. Now from 12 to 17, we will be discussing about the from the point of view of real point of view and conventional point of view. So from the real point of view, it is our always pure soul that we refer to. And from the conventional point of view, of course, there is Panch Parmeshti, five supreme souls, Arhant, Siddha, Acharya, Upadhyay, and Sadhu. They are very learned, and if we also follow in their footsteps, we will also become learned. So 12 to 17. Now, Jia, you read. You can skip the Hindi one if you are not able to read it. No problem.
Yeah,
Just
so
read the
can you read
English
the
one.
Hindi one? Can you read the Hindi one?
Yeah, slightly now it's okay.
Okay. Should I read or will you start? So
No, you read.
okay.
Only the English. If you are able to read Hindi, you read Hindi and English both. Otherwise, only English.
I'll just read English. Let me have in my heart of hearts the image of the omniscient Lord, whom monks, monarchs, and masters of heavenly beings adore and worship. Let that omniscient knower of the self and the whole cosmos, bereft of all ills, remain before me as my lighthouse tower to guide me in my pursuit of the self. The destroyer of the worldly agonies and having knowledge and perceptional sentience, this ideal of the monks on the path of liberation may remain in my spirit. Let the supreme guide of the path of emancipation above life and death, unblemished seer of the three worlds, occupy my heart and guide me. Let me rise above all attachments and aversions that mislead the worldly beings and accept pure psychic state of my own being as my support on the path of liberation. Let that guiding star which sees the whole cosmos as pure and noble be with me throughout my aspirations for achieving the everlasting bliss.
Stop. So, let me Muni Chakri Shakri ke Hiyame. Hiyame means in his mind, in his heart. Muni is monk. Chakravarti is said to be the king of humans, and Shakri. I think let me see Shakri. What is this Shakri? 12. Shakri is Indra. Okay, the lord of the celestial beings. So Muni Chakri is Chakravarti, the king of humans, and Shakri is the king of celestial beings. जिस अनंत का ध्यान रहे, okay, What is this Anant? Anant is our infinite qualities. Let me have in my heart of hearts the image of the omniscient Lord. So who has manifested this infinite attributes? It's the omniscient Lord, whom monks, monarchs, and masters of heavenly beings. So monks, Muni, monarchs is Chakravarti, and Shakri is master of heavenly beings, adore and worship. Okay. So this is it. Next. दर्शन ज्ञान स्वभावी जिसने सब विकार ही वमन किए, परम ध्यान गोचर परमात्म, param dev mam hriday rahe. So in every line here, you should consider your own soul as the real, from the real point of view. Our soul is the only God from the real point of view. From the conventional point of view, of course, there is Arihant and Siddh, the liberated soul. So let that omniscient knower of the self, so he is Keval Gyani, omniscient, he knows everything, and the whole cosmos bereft of all ills. Remain before me as my lighthouse, as my guide, lighthouse tower to guide me in my pursuit of the self. So as Arihant Paramatma has walked on this path of liberation, I also want to follow in their footsteps and let them be my guide. Let them guide me in pursuit of the self. Because they are experienced, they were also like us once. And from that stage, they have rose to become Arihant and liberated soul. And they are there to guide us. So let me take his guidance and walk on the path of liberation and get myself liberated. The destroyer of the worldly agonies, Bhauduk, and having knowledge and perceptional sentience. The ideal of the monk on the path of liberation may remain in my spirit. So the path followed by the monk, okay, that is the path of liberation. I should also follow that path. That is what is being said here. And Arihant and Siddh Bhagwan has already destroyed all kinds of worldly agonies and they become supreme soul. Okay, and I also want to become that. So let me follow in their footsteps. Then the next one. Let the supreme guide of the path of emancipation. Emancipation means liberation above life and death. Okay. निष्कलंक त्रैलोक्य दर्शी वह देम रहे मम हृदय सब. Mukti Marka Destruction. They are showing us the path of liberation. And they are also showing us the path how to get rid of this birth and death, birth and death, birth and death. They themselves have achieved, they have come out of that cycle, and we also want to come out of that cycle. So we should also seek their guidance and follow their instructions. Unblemished seer of the three worlds, Nishkalank, Trailokya Darshi Vaha. So they are seeing all the three worlds simultaneously in their knowledge. Occupy my heart and guide me. Occupy my heart means I follow their path. That is what it means here. The next one, 16th one. निखिल विश्व के वशीकरण वे राग रहे ना द्वेष रहे शुद्ध अतीन्द्रिय ज्ञान स्वरूपी परम देव मम हृदय रहे. Let me rise above all attachments and aversions that misled the worldly beings and accept pure psychic state of my own being as my support on the path of liberation. So let me rise above all attachments and aversions and that misled the worldly beings. So all the worldly beings were misled with the rise of attachments and aversion. And when the attachment and aversions arise, when we consider something to be beneficial, we develop a feeling of attachment to that. And when we consider something to be unbeneficial, we develop a feeling of aversions to them. But in reality, nothing, no object in this universe is beneficial or non-beneficial to me in any ways. But because of delusion, I believe some objects to be beneficial and I develop a feeling of attachment to that, and some as unbeneficial and I developed a feeling of aversion to that, and that is wrong. And accept pure psychic state of my own being as my support on the path of liberation. So my pure soul is my support in this path of liberation from the real point of view. And from the conventional point of view, these five Parmestis, five supreme beings, are my support in the path of liberation. They are ready to welcome me. Come, come in this path of liberation. Why you are wandering, transmigrating from one state of existence to another state of existence, from one species to another species? We have done enough transmigration. Now let's get out of this cycle of life and death and let's get liberated and experience eternal bliss permanently. We want permanent happiness. So let me rise above all attachments and aversions that misled the worldly being and accept pure psychic state of my own being as my support on the path of liberation. So my support is my own pure soul, and nobody externally can help me in the path of liberation. But from the conventional point of view, we do say that these five supreme beings are my support on the path of liberation. But from the real point of view, my own pure soul is the only support in this path of liberation. And when I take shelter in that my pure soul, I automatically manifest pure modifications. Let that guiding star which sees the whole cosmos as pure and noble be with me throughout my aspirations for achieving the everlasting bliss. Okay. So let that guiding star, who are our guiding star? These five supreme beings, or if you want to talk from the point of view that those who have completely manifested knowledge, completely manifested pure knowledge, then it is Arihant and Siddh Paramatma. So let them be my guiding star, and they see the whole cosmos as pure and noble. They don't react, they don't manifest attachments and aversions, and that's why they have become God. And I also want to become like them, so I will also start practicing this distributive knowledge and never manifest any kind of reactions of what is being reflected in my knowledge screen. It is only getting reflected. But because of ignorance, because of delusion, I develop a feeling of attachment which are beneficial to me and which are not beneficial. I develop a feeling of aversion, and that is because of delusion. Be with me throughout my aspiration for achieving the everlasting bliss. So he's seeking support. So from the conventional point of view, of course, this Arihant and Siddh Bhagwan will be our support. But from the real point of view, our pure soul is our only support. There, where we can take shelter and improve our journey in the path of liberation. Now, 18, 19, 20, 21. Four words are related to Apt. Apt means Arihant, Tirthankar. Okay. Here also, everywhere it will be our pure soul from the real point of view, and from the conventional point of view, it will always be Arihant and Siddh Paramatma. So 18 to 21. Who else is there? Madhuji, you will read or will not be able to read?
Soumya ji is there.
I'll read, sir.
Kaushik.
I'll read, sir.
Okay.
हाँ.
Okay, read.
कर्म कलंक अछूत न जिसका कभी छू सके दिव्य प्रकाश मोह तिमिर को भेद चला जो परम शरण मुझको वह आप the arhanta who is without the darkness of the karmas and who had achieved the greatest glory of the soul is my preceptor on the path of perfection. जिसकी दिव्य ज्योति के आगे फीका पड़ता सूर्य प्रकाश स्वयं ज्ञान में स्व पर प्रकाशी परम शरण मुझको वह प्राप्त. The light of the sun itself degenerates in the presence of luminous flame of that illuminator of the self and the non-self whom I implore to grant me refuge. जिसके ज्ञान रूप दर्पण में स्पष्ट झलकते कभी पदार्थ आदि अंत से रहित शांत शिव परम शरण मुझको वह प्राप्त. All the substance are reflected in the sentience of that Lord of universe, who is eternal, calm and showering bliss on all the creatures. जैसे अग्नि जलाती तरु को तैसे नष्ट हुए स्वयमेव भय विषाद चिंता सब जिसके परम शरण मुझको वह देव. He has destroyed all fear, desire, anxieties with the fire of the sentience. That Almighty Supreme Being is my refuge and my ambition.
Stop. So see, these four stanzas, 18, 19, 20, 21, are dealing with the person who has manifested omniscient knowledge. So our knowledge is now the one that we have that is being manifested is sensory knowledge and scriptural knowledge, Mati Shrut Gyan. But this Aryan Paramatma has manifested Keval Gyan, complete knowledge, omniscient knowledge. Okay, so those are called Aap. The Aryant who is without the darkness of the karmas. So karma, which karmas Aryant have destroyed? Obscuring or non-obscuring?
Obscuring.
Obscuring karmas.
Right. Obscuring karmas Aryant have destroyed. How many obscuring karmas are there? How many obscuring karmas are there?
Four.
Four. Good. So it is Jnanavaran, Darshanavarana, Mohniya, Antara. Knowledge obscuring, perception obscuring, Darshanavarana, then Mohniya, deluding karma, and the last one is Antaray. Antaray is energy. Okay, so these four obscuring karma Aryant have destroyed, but still the non-obscuring four are still left. But since the non-obscuring karmas are related to body and the other associations, it does not impact us directly. So by conquering the obscuring karma, we can manifest complete knowledge and complete happiness. So that is what Aryant has manifested. Still he is in the body only. He is having body right now, right? Where is in the Aryant stage. So Simandar Paramatma is now in Mahavidya Kshetra as a Tirthankar, but he is still in the Aryant state. and his life is a very big 1 koti purva. So again, after this fifth era, there will be 21,000 of sixth era, then reverse, first sixth era, then fifth era, and then again in the fourth era, the Tirthankar and the religion will start. And when there will be 12th Tirthankar here in the Bharat Kshetra, Simandar Paramatma will get liberated from Mahavideh Kshetra. So he's having such a long life, but he is in the Aryan stage. So he is completely manifesting eternal bliss and complete knowledge. But still the unobscuring karmas are still left, but it doesn't uh, hinder his enjoyment of eternal bliss. He is enjoying completely bliss. So this Aryan achieved the greatest glory of the soul. This is what a soul desire to manifest complete knowledge and happiness. Is my perceptor on the path of perfection. So I also want to take shelter in that Aryan, means that the preachings that I have got from this Aryan, let me follow those preachings, and I will also manifest this stage of Arihanta. The light of the sun itself degenerates in the presence of luminous flame. Okay, Surya ka prakash is light of the sun itself, है ना? So the divine sound, the not the divine sound, जिसकी दिव्य ज्योति के आगे, okay. So the Aryant has developed complete knowledge, and that knowledge is being compared here with the light of the sun. So this light of the sun is very inferior to that knowledge, light of knowledge that the Aryant has manifested. Of that illuminator of the self and the non-self, how is his knowledge? His knowledge has two components. It also reflects his self, and it also reflects all the non-self substance of this universe, irrespective of whether it is past, present, or future. So this is how it manifests. Of that illuminator of the self and the non-self, he knows to everything in this universe, but still he is absorbed in himself, because he knows by looking at the universe I will not gain anything. I have to look at my own soul, pure soul, and that is how I can manifest complete happiness and complete knowledge. So we believe that if I get knowledge of these, I will get this. It is not so. You understand the soul, you absorb in it, and you will have complete knowledge and complete happiness. Such a shortcut. So first you understand yourself, how it functions, what is are its qualities and everything. And after understanding and comprehending the nature of the soul, engrossed in self, okay, and you will manifest the complete knowledge and complete happiness. Of that illuminator of the self and the non-self, whom I implore, whom I pray to grant me refugee. So again, from the real point of view, my soul is my refugee, and from the conventional point of view, of course, the Aryan Paramatma is my refugee. जिसके ज्ञान रूप दर्पण में स्पष्ट झलकते सभी पदार्थ, कोई भी बाकी नहीं रहा, everything is reflecting in his knowledge. All the substances are reflected in the sentience of that Lord of the universe, who is eternal, आदि अंत से रहित, अनादि अनंत, शाश्वत, शांत जीव. शांत means calm, and Shiv means happiness, and showering bliss. Param Sharan Mujhko Va Aap, and showering bliss on all the creatures. So how it is? The Aryant can shower bliss on all of us? No. It means that when you take shelter in your soul and you concentrate on that, you focus on that, you will also manifest eternal bliss in yourself, and that is what means showering bliss on all the creatures. So all the creatures can take shelter in their pure soul and manifest showering bliss. Then we will say that Arihant has showered bliss on all the creatures. Okay. So this is a conventional statement, but in reality, we have to take refuge in our soul. We have to take shelter in our pure soul and manifest this complete happiness and complete knowledge. Last one. जैसे अग्नि जलाती तरु को, तरु is tree, okay. He has destroyed all fear, desire and anxieties with the fire of his sentience. The भय विषाद चिंता सब जिसके परम शरण मुझको वह एक. So bhai is fear, vishad is desire, and chinta is anxiety. Okay, so he's destroyed all these with the fire of his knowledge, sentience. That almighty supreme being is my refuge and my ambition. Okay, so from the real point of view, my soul is my refuge and my ambition, and from the conventional point of view, the Arihant Paramatma, who has destroyed all kinds of fears, desires, and anxiety. Now, the one who has conquered all the fears, desires, and anxiety, he is the most happiest person in this universe. And that is what Arihant Paramatma has done. So, I also bow to that Supreme Being from the conventional point of view, and I bow to my own pure soul from the real point of view. Now, 22 to 31, okay, the last bracket, and then the conclusion 32. So first we will read 3 stanzas at a time. So 22, 23, 24, Soumya.
तृण चौकी शिल शैल शिखर नहीं आत्म समाधि के आसन संस्तर पूजा संग सम्मिलन नहीं समाधि के साधन. One cannot attain spiritual perfection only by outward rituals, by offering penances on tops of mounts or collecting other means of samadhi. इष्ट वियोग अनिष्ट योग में विश्व मनाता है मातम. हेय सभी है विश्व वासना उपादेय निर्मल आत्म. The whole world laments the loss of desirables and the company of undesirables. However, all the passion towards this world is an evil. The soul alone is worth our being. बाह्य जगत कुछ भी नहीं मेरा और न बाह्य जगत का मैं. यह निश्चय कर छोड़ बाह्य को मुक्ति हेतु नित स्वस्थ रमै. Nothing in the external world belongs to me and I do not belong to that world. Having decided this and abandoned the non-self, I rest in my own blissful being. अपनी निधि तो अपने में है बाह्य वस्तु में व्यर्थ प्रयास. जग का सुख तो मृग तृष्णा है झूठे हैं उसके पुरुषार्थ. The fountain of happiness lies within. Attempts outside are meaningless. Joys of the world are mirage and so are our attempts to achieve them.
Stop.
Akshay. Yes.
Stop. So we'll take 4 at a time, no problem. So 20, 22, yeah. One cannot attain spiritual perfection only by outward rituals. Now, what is this outward rituals? The one that we follow through our mind, speech, and body activities. These are outside rituals. like we do fasting, we do one-time eating, then we take all kinds of vows, and these are some of the outward rituals that we follow when we are into the path of liberation. But you cannot achieve spiritual perfection. Of course, it will be there when you seek your spiritual perfection, but those are not the real means. The real means is engrossed, to get engrossed in your pure soul. So one cannot attain spiritual perfection only by outward rituals, by offering penances on tops of mounts or collecting other means of samadhi. Okay, so usually monk goes into the top of mountain and he practices penance, tap there. Okay, there are two, three things written over here. Trana. Trana means grass. Chauki. Chauki means small takat. Takat, what we call sitting place. Then shil. Shil is of course shila, marble. Shell. Shell is mountain. Shikhar. Shikhar is the top of the mountain. Okay, so you may go at these places and sit for meditation. Okay, but these are not the real way of meditation. Real way of meditation is the uh, understanding the soul and then engrossed in that soul, pure soul. Okay, and that is how you manifest all this uh, eternal bliss and complete knowledge. One cannot attain spiritual perfection only by outward rituals, by offering penances on top of mounts or collecting other means of samadhi. So those also will be there when you become a monk, but that are not the real means to achieve uh, equanimity. The next one,
So, what is
the whole
samadhi again?
samadhi is a passionlessness state,
Okay,
non-attachment.
okay.
Samta bhav is samadhi. So passionlessness is samadhi. Okay. The whole world laments the loss of desirables. Means whole world becomes suffers from misery when there is a loss of desirables and the company of undesirables. But few minutes ago only we discussed that there is nothing called beneficial or unbeneficial in this universe. But because of delusion, we believe something to be beneficial and something to be unbeneficial. But in reality, it is not like that. So the whole world suffers from misery because of this loss of desirables, but there is no desirable thing at all. So again, it's a wrong belief. And there is nothing called undesirable in this universe. And if you consider something undesirable, then again it's a wrong belief. However, all the passion towards this world is an avail. The soul alone is worth our being. Okay. Hey, sabhi hai Vishwa Vasna. All our desires are futile. It doesn't serve any purpose. Upadey nirmal asam. What is worth adapting? What is worth taking shelter in is our pure soul alone. Okay. Everything else is undesirable or not worth taking shelter into it. बाह्य जगत का कुछ भी नहीं मेरा. Nothing in this external world belongs to me. Even this body is external to me, right? So what we would say, all the associations that we have got, my wife, my children, my house, my business, my job, my car, my possession, my wealth, nothing in the external world belongs to me, and I do not belong to that world. Okay, it's all very separate and independent things. All the things are very independent and separate. Nothing belongs to me. But because of delusion, I believe this to be mine, and that is the cause of my misery. Having decided this means coming to a conclusion to this principle and and abandon the non-self, I rest in my own blissful being. So when you decide this, that nothing belongs to you and you belong, no, you don't belong to anyone else. When you decide this, you then don't indulge in the non-self objects and you rest in your own pure soul, and that is where you experience the eternal bliss. अपनी निधि तो अपने में है, बाह्य वस्तु में व्यर्थ प्रयास। जग का सुख तो मृग तृष्णा है, झूठे है उसके पुरुषार्थ। The fountain of happiness lies within. There is no happiness outside. Okay. All the attempts that we made outside to get this happiness are meaningless, futile. Okay. Joys of the world are mirage. Mirage, you know, mirage in a desert. Deer suffering from thirst sees water at a long distance, and that is water is not there. Actually, the sun is reflecting on the sand, and that appears to be as water. So this deer goes running there in search of quenching his thirst. But when he reaches there, there is no water, and his thirst is not satisfied. Again he sees at a distance, or again it appears that there is a water there. Again he runs there, and in this way, in the summer and the heat above him, he runs here to there, but he doesn't get a drop of water and he dies. So joys of the world are mirage. There is no happiness in any of the worldly objects. But our belief that I will be happy by getting these possessions, getting these objects is again just like a mirage. And so are our attempts to achieve them. So whatever we do in terms of means to be happy are all false, and we never experience happiness in any of the worldly objects. All the worldly objects that we feel that is beneficial and happy to me are with anxiety. And when there is an anxiety, there cannot be an eternal bliss. Okay. The characteristics of an eternal bliss is unperturbedness. Okay. No anxiety. Nirakulta sukh. Now 26, 27, 28, 29. These 4 words. And who is left? I'm not able to see. 1 minute.
Malti here. I can read that.
Yeah, you read.
अक्षय है, शाश्वत है, आत्मा निर्मल ज्ञान स्वभावी है, जो कुछ बाहर है सब पर है, कर्माधीन विनाशी है. The soul alone is indestructible, eternal, sentient, and faultless. All that is outside is non-self, transitory, and dependent upon the karma. तन से जिसका ऐक्य नहीं हो स्थिति मित्रों से कैसे, चर्म दूर होने पर तन से रोम समूह रहे कैसे. How can one who regards his body as different regard his kith and kin as his own? Just as if one's skin is removed, all the hair thereupon are automatically removed. महाकष्ट पाता जो करता पर पदार्थ जड़ देह संयोग, मोक्ष महल का पथ है सीधा, जड़ चेतन का पूर्ण वियोग. Those who associate themselves with non-self bodies experience various displeasures. That self and non-self are absolutely different is the real way to the palace of nirvana. जो संसार पतन के कारण उन विकल्प जालों को छोड़, निर्विकल्प निर्द्वंद आत्मा फिर लीन उसी में हो. One should therefore leave the illusion of worldly attachments and aversions. and dive deep into the passionless ocean of our Supreme Being.
Stop. So 26. The soul alone is indestructible. Okay. So all the souls are indestructible. There is no birth, there is no death. Only the body comes into association and body gets dissociated. This body gets dissociated, then another body comes into association and it gets dissociated as per our age. Okay. So the soul never dies. The soul alone is indestructible, eternal. It is there since beginningless time and it will be there in existence since endless time. That is eternal, Anadi Anant. Sentient, full of knowledge and faultless. So in the pure soul, there is not any kind of flaws or fault. Okay, it is in itself, complete in itself. Okay, there is no incompleteness of any sorts. All that is outside is non-self. Okay, so apart from me, my pure soul, everything else is non-self for me, transitory, momentary, and dependent upon the karmas. Now, if you want to get good association, right, you have to have good karmas, auspicious karmas. If you are bound auspicious karma, you will get good associations. If you are bound inauspicious karmas, you will have all the adverse associations. Okay, so it all depends on the karmas. All that is outside is non-self. So your efforts does not work in outside world. You may say that I joined as a in a very low post in this organization, and after 20 years today I am the head of this organization, but that is because of your past karmas. It is not because of your intelligence, it is not because of your skill, it is not because of anything else that you consider, right? It is just because of your past karmas. I can show you many persons who are so intelligent, so skillful, means you cannot find a flaws in them as far as their workings are concerned, but they have not progressed beyond a certain limit. And the person who was the weakest in the class when they were studying together, now he has become a CEO of a company. So how all these things happen? Because of karmas, past karmas. Okay, so all that is outside is not our control. It's all non-self, it is all transitory, and it all depends upon the karmas. So here we need to come to a conclusion that there is no role that we play outside. You know, we don't have a role outside. It is all very predetermined, prefixed, that unfolds on its own automatically. We believe that we are bringing up the kids. We believe that I am earning this money. We believe that I am cooking. I am doing this cooking. But it is not so. It is all independently happening. All the substances are independent of one another, and there is no correlation in the sense that a substance helps another substance, a substance destroys another substance. That is not what the nature of things says. So all that is outside is all because of our past karmas, and we have no role over there. So where is our role? Where should we put in the efforts? Our efforts should all be directed towards our own development. And what is this, our own development? So in the first place, you have to believe that you are the pure soul. That is where the right belief comes in. The next step is the right knowledge, and then of course the right conduct. This is the shortest route to get liberated. You know, right belief, right knowledge, and right conduct. BKC, right belief, right knowledge, right conduct. Everything else is not in our hand. Everything else where our effort does not work, you know, it is all because of karmas that is happening in our life. And we believe that we are the doer of all these things, and that is where we bind infinite karmas. Okay, so in the first place, you should come to a conclusion. What is your role? What you can do and what you cannot do? What is under your purview? What is under your control and what is under not in your control? If you analyze all these things, then you come to a conclusion that I am the pure soul and my only function is to know and see, nothing beyond that. And if you are able to take a decision on that, then that is the time you manifest right belief. And once the right belief is there, the right knowledge follows and right conduct comes automatically. Okay. So your all time, energy, effort should be directed in understanding your true identity, and everything will happen on its own. How can one who regards his body as different regard his kith and kin as his own? So our body is different from my soul. So the relations related to this body, my wife, my son, my parents, my employees, my seniors, my juniors, all are quite away from us. Body is not mine. So all the relations related to this body are not mine. The author has given a very good example. Just as if one's skin is removed, all the hair that are implanted on the skin thereupon are automatically removed. So when you consider your body, when you don't consider your body as your own, so how all these associations will be mine? Okay, so all this helps us in practicing discriminative knowledge between the self and the non-self. There are two parties only. One is self, that is you yourself, and everything else is non-self. Okay, this is how you practice descriptive knowledge, and this is how you attain happiness. महाकष्ट पाता जो करता पर पदार्थ दे जड़ दे संयोग. Those who associated themselves with non-self bodies experience various displeasure, because these non-self bodies are independent from us, are different from us. And if we consider these non-self bodies as our own, then we experience various displeasure. Mahakasht pata hai. That self and non-self are absolutely different is the real way to the palace of Nirvana. What is this palace of Nirvana? Siddhsila, where the liberated souls reside. Okay, so this only one thing you have to do: discriminate between the self and non-self. Both are absolutely different. Okay, and by practicing this discriminative knowledge, this is the real path of liberation, and you get liberated. This is the way you get liberated. 29th one. जो संसार पतन के कारण उन विकल्प झालों को छोड़. ओहो, झालो means cluster. One should therefore leave the illusion of worldly attachments and aversions and dive deep into the passionless ocean of our supreme being. So one which are cause of our patan, destruction. Okay, we should leave all those worldly attachments and aversions and focus on ourself. That is the only way to happiness. Okay, so up to this we have done. So now the last 30, 31, 32, 3. Who is left now?
Roshni
You have
ji.
any question? Emily, you have any question?
No, so I have, but I'll ask you later.
Okay. So last three, then we will take up questions. We have enough time now. So who is reading next? Yeah.
Whatever deeds have been done by us, they definitely bear their fruit. There is nobody else who awards rewards or punishments for our actions. Our own karmas bring us misfortunes or happiness, as a matter of fact. Let us therefore cease thinking that some other being shall deliver the goods to us. Amit Gati says that our Lord is pure, good, beautiful, and great. Those who cherish him in their souls and identify themselves with him attain perfection.
So whatever deeds have been done by us, they definitely bear their fruits. So if you are doing good deeds, you will get good fruits. If you are doing bad deeds, you will get bad fruits. Simple, right? So whatever the association that we have got in this birth right now is because we have done some very good deeds. That's why we are getting such kind of knowledge, where with that knowledge, by understanding that knowledge, by understanding those principles and applying on our day-to-day life, we can get liberated. And that is the ultimate objective, because in this worldly existence, there is sufferings in all state of existence. All the four state of existence have sufferings of some sort or the other. Nobody can achieve complete happiness in this worldly existence, in this mundane existence. Okay, for getting complete happiness, we have to get liberated. Okay, so whatever deeds have been done by us, they definitely bear their fruits. That we should keep in mind, and this will create an awareness what we are indulging in. You say that I have a job, I am earning so much of money, but what that money will do to you? Up to a certain limit, we all require some level, some kind of wealth to sustain ourselves, to have the basic necessities of life. But beyond that, it is all futile. You will live for your uh, children, but the children are also themselves talented. They will earn enough for themselves. And even if you keep those money for them, and if they are not talented or they are not in the right path, they will lose everything. So that attempt is futile. It's not going to serve our any purpose. So whatever deeds have been done us, they will definitely bear their fruit. There is nobody, you don't have anything on your head to look after anything. That is the real point of view. From real point of view, I am talking. You are an observer, believe to be an observer, and practice only this knowledge and seeing. But that's all. That is what you can do. There is nothing else you can do. And if you remain an observer, you will manifest happiness right now also, and in future the karmas that will be bound because of those uh, uh, auspicious sentiments, along with that pure happiness, that will bring in all the good associations in your life automatically, and ultimately we will all get liberated. There is nobody else who awards rewards or punishment for our action. Okay, it is our own deeds. Good deeds will bring in good things, bad deeds will bring bad association. That's all. Our own karma brings us misfortune or happiness as a
Sir, but
matter
when you
of
say
fact.
good deed brings good fruits, does it mean the foundation of karma?
Yeah, if you do good deeds, it bounds you auspicious karma. And when those karmas come into fruition, it comes into fruition, you get all the good associations in life.
Okay.
So if the karmas theory, we eliminate the karmas theory, then you cannot justify anything in this universe. So karma theory is also important, but we go beyond those karmas, right? And we then come to our toxic emotions, that is the chief cause of our suffering. If you don't manifest toxic emotions, you don't bind those karmas, inauspicious karmas. And when you don't mind inauspicious karmas, you don't get undesirable association. So everything is in our hand. Okay, the whole destiny is in our hand. How we want to charter our destiny depends on us. Okay, there is nobody else who is controlling our life. Okay, you have a choice what you want to do in your life, right? Nobody is forcing you to do anything. So our own karmas brings us misfortunes, and our own good karmas brings us happiness. As a matter of fact, matter of fact means it is the real point of view. Let us therefore cease thinking that some other being shall deliver the goods to us. Right? So that means the author is saying that don't depend on anybody else, that anybody will do anything for us. Even the Aryan cannot do anything for us. Right? So it is our own karmas, it is our own efforts, it is our own good deeds that is going to come to help us, right? The associations that we get, it all depends on our past good deeds. So we should practice, we should, as a matter of principle, we should only get indulged in good deeds. Even if there are some bad deeds in our life, we should at least not believe that those are good for me, right? So you just change your belief system and everything else will change automatically. So it begins with the belief, and then the knowledge and conduct automatically follows. So let us therefore cease thinking that some other being shall deliver the good to us, right? So you have to do our own work for our own benefit, for our own happiness. And that is what we should do in this life. Everything else is not going to do any good for us in any way. And you believe that I am doing for my children, that also is again a false belief. You cannot do anything else to any other being. Whatever they get is because of their past deeds, you know, and it's like that. The world is moving in automation mode. Because of our past deeds, we are getting good association. Because of our bad deeds in the past, we are getting unfavorable association. That's the final matter of fact. The last stanza now. निर्मल सत्य शिव सुंदर है अमित गति वह देव महान. So in the past times, this is 1000 years ago, the author used to write their name in the last verse, and that is how we know that Amit Gati Acharya has written this. So Amit Gati says that our Lord is pure. So who is this Lord? Quick answer.
Atma. Atma.
Real point of view
Soul.
and conventional point of view. Both you have to say.
Real point of view.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Go
Roshan.
ahead, Natiji. Real point of view is soul, and then conventional point of view is the Panch Parmeshti.
Yes, right. So our Lord is pure means here it refers to Aryan. Okay, it's basically Aryan and see Paramatma they have discussed here. Amit Gati says that our Lord, because they have manifested complete knowledge and complete happiness. So they are our idols here in this text. Okay, Amit Gati says that our Lord is pure, good, beautiful, and great. So our
Sir, what
Lord
do you
means
mean by
pure, good.
conventional point of view?
Conventional point of view means व्यवहार. व्यवहार से पंच परमेष्ठी या अर्यंत सिद्ध भगवान है और निश्चय से अपना शुद्धात्मा, pure soul.
But then isn't that a delusion again?
No, it is not delusion, because when we say conventional point of view, you have to believe in that sense only. It is not the real point of view. Real point of view is our own soul. Our own soul only we can take shelter into. We cannot take shelter into any other objects in this universe. That is the real point of view. But from the conventional point of view, we take shelter in Panch Parameshti, we take shelter in our parents, our seniors, our scholars, our acharyas, all. So all those are conventional point of view. So Amit Gati Acharya says that our Lord is pure, good, Nirmal means pure, Satya is not good but truthful. Shiv is beauty, Sundar is beautiful, Shiv is Shivam. Shiv is actually uh, mm, Kalyankari. You know,
Shiv
Shiv
is
is
pure.
Kalyankari. Shiv is pure, Nirmal is
Yes, sir.
pure, Nirmal is pure, Satya is truth, Shiv is actually कल्याणकारी कहते हैं शिव को कल्याणकारी so
Kalyankar.
so our beneficial we can say, right? So Amit Gati says that our pure soul, our own pure soul is purity for us, is truth for us, it's beneficial to us, and it is also beautiful. Okay, so pure, good, beautiful, and great. These are the 4 words written here for Nirmal, Satya, Shivam, Shuddharam. Okay, so one that is truthful, that is beautiful, Satyam, Shivam, and one that is beautiful is a source of enjoyment for us. Okay. शाश्वत निज में अनुभव करते पाते निर्मल पद निर्वाण. Those who cherish him in their souls and identify themselves with him attain perfection. So the way to achieve perfection is first identify yourself and then get engrossed in yourself, and that is the way we manifest complete happiness and complete knowledge, and that is what perfection is all about. So our ultimate objective is to achieve this perfection, and achieving this perfection means achieving the state of Aryant and Siddha. Okay, and that is where our miseries end, and that is where our infinite bliss, infinite knowledge, all these good qualities of our soul gets 100% manifested, and we will remain in that state for time immortal. There is no end to soul. Soul never dies. So we have a choice. Either we can live an ordinary life like all the mundane beings are living, or we rise above that level and understand these principles and apply this in our life and make our life happiness in the present, and future is complete happiness and perfection. Okay, and since the soul is going to be there, since uh, uh, means we are not going to get destroyed anytime, so soul will remain. Either it will remain in the world, transmigrating from one state of existence to another state of existence, or it will achieve the liberated state and it will remain there for, and if he remains there, then he will enjoy complete bliss. So choice is ours, whether we want to get out of this cycle of birth and death, or we want to be remain in this universe. And I'll tell you one thing very, very serious and interesting, that this life is very short considering our existence since time immortal. This human life maybe 60, 70, 80 years max average age now, right? So that is also very small period of time, and in this small period of time, if you don't do this right belief, right knowledge, and right conduct, then we never know when we will get another opportunity like this, getting a human birth, getting this birth in a Jain family, and then getting a birth, then developing an interest. And if you have an interest, then you should also have means, getting means, and that is also not sufficient. You have to understand, you have to have that uh, intellect to understand these principles, and not only understanding it but applying it our day-to-day life, and really making our life blissful. So all these are very rarest of rare, and we have got all these good associations. And this Parmadam honors course, we are into the second sem now, and it's 5 years course, so 10 sem. So if you are able to stay on this, you will get distractions in between. You will have situations in life where you will like leaving all these things, because we are doing multiple things simultaneously. We have our family to manage, we have our job to manage, then we have our other relations, and so many things, But that all will be there with everyone. But you have to find a time for your own self-development and study the scriptures, understand the scriptures, understand these principles, and apply in your day-to-day life situations, and be blissful in that particular situation. So this is the benefit that will get if we stick to this course, complete this. It's only one time that you have to. Our life is very big, 60, 70 years. And if you spend 5 years, and that also 2 hours a week, and another 2 hours as the homework, right? So 4 hours a week is what you have to spend. This is what you need to invest. And the benefit is unmeasurable. You cannot measure what is the benefit, right? Getting liberated is the ultimate thing that we want to all. We don't want this life and death, life and death, and life and death, and these sufferings. We will understand these sufferings in each state of existence in Chaydala, that is in the next sem, and also in Moksha Marg Prakasak, and you will realize that, oh, what a jackpot that we have got in this life. Unbelievable, simply unbelievable, So by default, without any effort, we have all got this association. Now make the most of this opportunity. That is the last thing that I have to say on this Tattva Gyan part 1. Now, tomorrow, this Das Lakshan will start, and I will be sharing you all the 11 lectures of last year in English. Okay? And you can follow this, and we have the textbook that also I will be sharing. I'll be also sharing the PowerPoint slides on each dharma, but that is in Hindi. So if somebody can translate it in English and share in the group, it is nice. Otherwise, you manage with the Hindi version. Okay, but if somebody has time, and so you can translate it into English also. Now everything gets translated into Google, but sometimes they are not able to catch the inner meaning of those translations. So we have to check it again. So if somebody translates and send me the slides, I will be happy to correct those translations. And if there are any mistakes, we will correct it, and then you can have that PowerPoint slides also in English. Otherwise, you can manage with Hindi, and more or less all of you know some little bit of Hindi, so it won't be a problem. So Jia, you will do the translation?
I'll try to see if I can.
Okay, so I'll just share in a few minutes only in the group, and you see.
Sir,
if
and
you
next
are
book,
able
like
to.
which next book are we planning to start now since this is finished?
So this is finished, and Das Lakshan Dharma is also will also be finished during these 10 days. You will go through these lectures, and there is everyday lecture 9:30 to 10. Different scholars are coming and explaining. Will be explaining each dharma every day. So today it will be Uttam Shama, because tomorrow is Uttam Shama. So you know what in advance you have to do during those days. So that will be one lecture in Hindi, half an hour every day. And apart from that, I will be sharing the last year's lecture in English and also the slides in Hindi. Okay. So
I can
this will
help
be
you, Jia.
completed. Pardon?
So I can help Jia with the translation.
Yeah, you both of you do, and manage the translation, and the corrections I will do. Okay.
Sir, also,
So-
can you post the assignments which we'll have to do for Tattva Gyan? I mean, like, see, if you will post it later
So
on, then you.
for Tattva Gyan, there is one assignment, that is Concept Clarity Paper 2, and there we have taken five distinctive disposition, chapter number 6. That is only and for that you have to listen to the lecture also, because textbook is not enough. You have to prepare charts, and I've shared an English chart also of that. So you have to prepare that chart, and from between 1 page to 6 page, you write an article on that particular chapter. That is concept clarity paper 2. Now, concept clarity paper 1 is this Das Lakshan Dharma, and that I will give you on maybe tomorrow. I will give what we have to do in concept clarity paper 1. Apart from that, I have given you topics. I've sent you the topics on Gandhar Mulyankan. No,
No, sir.
I don't think I've shared. So that also I will be sharing today. Okay. So this homework was given concept clarity paper 2 on 5 distinctive disposition was given you few days ago. Okay. So the last date for that I think is today is what 7th. No, I think it is 20. What date is the last date?
28.
28, right? Okay. So 28 is for that, and today I will be giving you the Gandhar Mulyankan topics for each. Okay, and that last date will be 21 days from now. So today is 7th. So I will give it tomorrow. So you will that deadline will be on 29th. Okay. So 28th and 29th would be, I think 27th is the last date. So this will be 29. Okay. 27th will be one deadline for concept clarity paper 2, and for Gandhar Mulyankan it will be 29. And after the Das Lakshan, I will give you concept clarity paper 1. Okay. So there will be a little bit of gap in between these 3 assignments. And it is all very simple. Now, if you don't want to write concept clarity, you can just message me through voice message also. And 5 minutes will be more than enough, right? So the management has done it so simple now, so it will not be a worries. Okay. Even if there are assignments left over of last sem also, you can finish it that way. That is not a problem. Okay.
Sir,
So
do we have a
now
class
any
next week?
questions? Yeah. What you are
Sir,
asking, Soumya?
Sir, do we have a class next week?
No. Next 2 weeks we will not have class. In fact, 21st, today is 8th, so next 2 weeks. So 21st we will have a class,
Today is 7.
but that will be 1 hour only, and that will be at 9:30 p.m. 9:30 a.m. Sorry. So instead of 8:30, it will be at 9:30 and 9:30 to 10:30, because before that I will have that discussion in PhD club from 8:30 to 9:30. Okay. So that I will
Sir, why
finish,
are
and
we
then
not
we
having
will.
the class for next week?
Pardon?
Why don't we have the Sir, why don't we have the class for next week?
Because you will be
Dash
listening to these lectures of Das Lakshan Dharma every day, no? So you will not
Okay.
have
Right.
time for another lesson. And so we will start on 21st, 1 hour only, 9:30 to 10:30, and then regular class from next week onwards. Okay. So on 21st, we will start Tattvagyan chapter 2, part 2. Tattvagyan part 2, and we will do first chapter 2. Tattvagyan part 2, chapter 2, that we will do on 21st at 9:30 a.m. for 1 hour only. And then from next onwards, so that will be the last paper 3, Tattvagyan part 2. So this is all we have in this sem. Okay. Of course, that is a very big chapter. Tattvagyan part 2 is big, little big. There are 11 chapters in it. All the chapters are very big. And then we have a self-study book on Nimit Upadan. That also we are going to read in class. Okay. So that will take time. But anyway, we'll be finishing by December anyways. So that is not a problem.
So I have a question
So,
with regards.
So
Ask the questions.
I have a question. So there is this Bara Bhavna, there is this Sola
Okay.
Karan Bhavna, and then there is this Bhavna Batisi. They're all different, but basically the same.
Right. So there is all these are contemplations. Okay. So there are in total 6 bhavnas that is given in Ratnakaran Shravakacharya book. Okay. There is a chapter, 6th chapter is about bhavnas only, and it runs up to 150 pages. 150 pages for all kinds of bhavnas, and there are 6 bhavnas discussed. So one is the 4 bhavnas: Maitri, Pramod, Karuna, and Madhyastha bhavna. The one that we discussed today in the first stanza. Okay, so that is one. Then Das Lakshan Dharma is also a bhavna. Then
Okay.
we have Bara bhavna. Then we have Sola Karan bhavna. Then we have uh, then we have one more bhavna. I think Dharma bhavna. So in all total there are 6 bhavnas. So bhavna Bhattisi is not a part there, but again it is a kind of reflection only.
Is it
So
being, is
reflection
it
is nothing.
a name also? Because these sloks are familiar, but ये भावना बत्तीसी कभी सुना नहीं. किसी और नाम से भी बोलते हैं इसको.
Is
सामायिक पाठ.
हाँ.
Samayik
Yes.
part,
Yes.
Samayik
Yes.
part also, right?
Yes. Yes.
So it is also bhavna Bhattisi or Samayik part.
मुझे
And,
लगा में होगा या something.
and somewhere I think somewhere it is mentioned Nirav Nirjar also. I'm not very sure, but I
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Nirav
think-
Nirjar also. Yes, sir.
So I think Samayik part is not there, but Nirav Nirjar is there.
Sir, both are there. Prem Bhav हो सब जीवों में sir सामायिक
अच्छा,
part
अच्छा,
and
both.
Nirav Nirjar. These are alternate names.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
They're seeming very familiar.
So it is the same. Nirav Nirjar, Samayik part, and Bhavna Bhattisi, all 3 are same, having different names.
Sir, this text has been included in MP state textbooks also. Prem Bhav
Oh,
Sab
this
Jeevan.
Bhavna Bhattisi?
Yes, sir.
Oh, very good. Okay. So any questions?
Sir,
Sir, one more question. Sir, can we have the PDF for Tattva Part 2?
Yes, I will share today itself.
Because you were saying something, they are preparing something new. So you will share this.
So that new what has happened, I had checked about Tattwagyan 1 also. So because of this chat GPT, they are translating through chat GPT. So some of the meanings were not that like correct, I suppose. So there has to be a correction to be done on that. So I didn't share that Tattwagyan 1. But anyways, I will be sharing, and we will refer the textbook only in that class, the textbook that we have already got. So that we'll refer, but I will share the translation version also, but it is not yet corrected. So it will have some mistakes, and then it takes so much time to correct those mistakes, So
Right.
best is that we follow this textbook only.
Yes.
And since we are doing it word by word, so if there are any mistakes, I will definitely point out. So, so mistakes are there in terms of terminology also, because in English we have so many synonyms that each meaning has each has a different meaning. So that makes it very difficult to choose the right words in English. In Hindi also there is some problem, but it is not of that stature as we have in English, because English synonyms are around 50 to 100 for each word, but in Hindi at most we have 3, 4, 5 meanings, so that we can still manage. But this is something very difficult, and the chat GPT doesn't understand our language, so it gives its own meaning, and sometimes it is not the correct meaning. So that will need a very comprehensive checking, and that's going to take time. So we will stick to our textbook only, and we'll manage with that. In textbook, the words used are not some of the best, but still, as far as the inner meanings are concerned, it is quite clear.
Okay, so we'll get it printed. The same.
Yeah, you can print it. You get printed, no problem.
Okay. Thank you.
So we'll referring the textbook in the class only, and then Nimit Upadan, there is no English version available. So that has been translated, and the checking is going on. So even if that has not been checked, anyways we will be sharing that, and we will manage with that English version also. And while studying, we will correct it if there is any mistakes. Okay, I'll point you out. No problem. So I'll be sharing Tattwagyan Part 2 PDF of our textbook, and these slides, and 10 lectures on 11 lectures on Das Lakshan Dharma in English of last year. So that will be YouTube links only, so that you can access from there.
And one more thing, sir, you just in this class you were telling you will give the English chart also. Previously you gave
So
the Hindi
English chart I have
chart.
already shared, no, of this 5 distinctive dispositions.
Okay.
I've shared one Hindi chart, and along
Ah.
with Hindi words, I have mentioned the English words. So that only you have to check.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Now, Hemali, your question.
Thank you, sir. So for this 32 wishful reflections,
Okay.
so in the starting, they are saying that let me have the love for all, compassion for. So, but we've
Right.
been studying that we are, we don't want these kind of emotions, right? We don't want attachment. If you have compassion, you will have slight attachment.
Right.
So, why is this poem correct?
So
or
this
why
is
has he?
written from the conventional point of view. Now see, Soumya was telling that it has been included in the normal curriculum of syllabus in MP board, right? So that means this is all from conventional point of view, that you live in peace and harmony, have good feelings with all the souls of this universe. But as I explained, that how can you love all souls just because all are pure souls? In that sense, you can develop a feeling of like and dislike, attachments. Yeah, you can have that feeling of attachment, but that is all from conventional point of view. From the real point of view, we have to manifest passionlessness, non-attachment, and not the attachment. Okay. So there will be always statement from real point of view and conventional point of view. We have to identify which is from real point of view and that is worth adapting. And the statement that are from conventional point of view that are worth not believing, those are just for the for our outer behavior,
Okay.
So it is
Got
like
it.
that.
On the 20th shlok, they also say that the Lord showers his blessings on everybody.
That is also conventional point of view. So I explained it everywhere that it is from real point and conventional point. So you have to, even if it is not written from which point of view it is being said, you have to ascertain yourself whether it is from conventional point of view or it is real point of view. If it is conventional point of view, you have to just believe that this is being said from the conventional point of view, but from real point of view, it will be like this. So everywhere we mentioned that our soul is worth taking shelter from the real point of view, and then Aryan and Sid Bhagwan are worth taking shelter from the conventional point of view. So when we take shelter of Aryan, that means we have to take shelter in his preachings. In his preachings, we have to understand that preaching and apply in our day-to-day life. So everywhere the meaning changes when we consider the real point of view, and the real point of view is the one that we need to adapt in our life. And conventional point of view is for our outer behavior.
So
Any other
before we
questions?
move on, before we move on to the next semester, we have this 2-week break. So, sir, I wanted to ask everyone here if, we can all kind of, those who are interested, can meet up to do some sort of revision. Like, I have a lot of issues with this Manushya Shrut Gyan. I'm just not understanding. I'm getting very confused about
What you are not understanding? What you are not understanding?
this
Mati
whole.
Shudyan?
No, sir, this
Tattva Gyan.
Praman Gyan and Nay Gyan. So it's very confusing for
Okay.
me.
Okay. So what we'll
Similarly,
do, we will take a lecture on Praman Gyan and Nai Gyan on the 21st itself. 1 hour. We will have discussion on this. Okay.
Oh, okay. So I will listen to the lecture earlier, or the one
Yeah,
that
you listen to the
conducted
lecture
earlier.
also, and if anybody in the group is ready to discuss, you can have a discussion also. I don't mind. And if still the doubts doesn't clear, then we will take it on the 21st about Praman Gyan and Nai Gyan. Right? Praman Gyan is the right knowledge, and Nai Gyan is the knowledge. It's a part. It's a part of Praman Gyan. Okay, Nai is a part of Praman. So Nai is a particular point of view. The thing is being looked at a particular point of view, from particular point of view. So that is Nai Gyan. Okay. So that we will discuss on 21st if it is not clear. So if Soumya, I think, can help. Soumya, you can take a fix a time
Yes,
next
sir.
week.
Sir, I can
Soumya will also be
explain
busy
it.
next week. Okay.
Next
So
week,
you just
after.
okay, whatever you can have a time. Anytime in
So-
the evening also you can connect. And if you want this Zoom link, that also I can arrange. You just let me know the time and timing. I will
Please
arrange
do
for
that.
the Zoom meeting.
We like to revise it. We'll definitely like to revise.
And
Yeah.
of all the chapters, it will be good if you
Yeah.
So it was a
So
very
ma-
good lecture yesterday.
uh,
So introduction to Daslakshan that you gave yesterday, it was quite good. You started from the basic, of course. So it was quite good.
because it was for newcomers, the person who were planning to join, and that way. So the management had told me that it is 30 minutes, but you have to take it this way. And I tried my best to take it that way only. But if you
Okay.
listen to the lectures that I'll be sharing today, it will be as per our textbook. And the important point is you have to mark it in your textbook. So everyone gets a printout of the Daslakshan done book, and then I will mark points on each. So because the description is very long, so we have done some important points, marked some important points in each lecture, and each lecture is only of 1 hour. So 11 lectures will be 1.5 hour. I think it was 1.5 hour. Yeah. So not 1.5 hour, 1 hour 15 minutes. Yeah, 1 hour 15 minutes. So there are 11 lectures on 11 days, 10 days, and one Shamavani. So you can listen to that lecture and do the markings in your textbook, and then you can read also those. That will be sufficient for the exams.
So yes, excuse me, sir. So yesterday I was looking for the lecture, but I think it has not been put up. Has it been put up?
I think it has been put up, but they have
Yesterday
not.
night after 9:30 I saw it was not put up. Yesterday's.
You joined through that link?
No, I joined after when I wanted to watch what had been told. It was yours,
Okay.
so but
So I'll be
I
sharing
was
it today.
searching.
I'll just sharing just now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. After 9:30 only. After 10, I suppose I went to see, but it was not there.
Okay. So you will find it in the group, and I think Jia, you can share. Apurvaji has shared in the team leaders group. So whatever is being shared in the team leader group, you have to share it in our group. So this, okay, Jia, you are there?
Yes.
Yeah. So just take care of that. Huh?
No.
Okay.
Rajeshji, you mentioned a book
Huh.
for Daslakshan. Is it the same
Yeah.
as Dharma Ke Daslakshan? Okay.
Yeah, Dharma Ke Daslakshan by Dr. Bharilji.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. I'll be sharing the PDF also. Okay, no problem. Okay. So have a good Daslakshan Dharma. This will be a life-changing Daslakshan for you because of the knowledge that you have acquired over a period of 1 year, and you will understand better. Okay. So have a good time.
Okay, sir.
निज
Thank you.
निज में बताई यह अनंत उपकार है उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार है 9 बार नौकार मंत्र गिनेंगे जय जिनेन्द्र
Thank you, sir.
Jai Hind, sir.
Jai Jinendra, thank you.
Jai Janendra, thank you.
Jai Jinendra, sir.